Yeah. This is for the raza.
Hello, Chicano Folklorico class. Thanks for joining us today. We've had a great experience working with you all. I hope you have too. Today we're gonna do our warm-up, of course, adding our zapateado. You're gonna need your huaraches or your sneakers or your folklorico shoes. We're gonna do, as well, we're gonna think about the exchange between the older generation and the younger generation. We're gonna think about how the older generation, the wisdom that they can give us, the stories that they can give us, and also think about how the younger generation can support us. And we're going to use that through movement and through dance. All right, so let's get started with our warm-up. Here we go. 5, 6, left, 12, down. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, cascade, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, reverse. 1, 2, go towards the screen. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give it to the middle face of the screen. Head, turn head. 7, 8, again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the arms to the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, jump. 1, 2, 3. Excellent job. Okay, everybody, let's review our zapateado. First, we're going to start with planta sencilla. Remember, we used our whole foot. We're going to lift our leg up and bring it down to hit the floor with our whole foot. Use your body to make the sound, that bounce that we do. Up and down, up and down. Up and down. Use that whole foot, and there's only one. Okay, class, so remember that we alternate using right and left, and we only do one step each time. Watch this. Up and down. 1, 2, 4. It goes on every other count. Then 8 the odd numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's try it. So let's do our bounces. Here we go. Let's play the music. 5, 6, 7, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. Take it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now let's review planta dobles. Here we go. So that means we're going to do 2 steps. Let's try the right leg. Let's get our bounce. 5, 6. Try 2.
1, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Again, 5, 6, right leg, flat the obliques. So it has also that double beat. 1, 2. So now let's try the left leg. Here we go. Let's do our bounce. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, left leg. Last time, 7, 8. That's it. Very good. So let's do that again. So it's a changing of weight, right? 1, 2, you change to the other side. 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 Very good. So let's add it together, alternating, using planta dobles, and making sure that we're doing our bounce.
Okay, class, let's do our bounces before we start our planta dobles. Bounce. 6, 7, 8.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dobles. Here we go. 1, 2, change weight. 2, change weight. 2, change weight. 2, change weight. Change weight. Change weight. And other side. That's it.
Okay, let's do all of this up at the other exercise to the other direction, starting with stage right.
Let's jump, and we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right leg close to the screen. Conceal. Alternate. 7. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. 6, 7. Dobles. 2, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Another count. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's jump to the wall. Oh yeah. 2, 3. Bounce it. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dobles and heel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right leg, left leg, 5, 6. Here we go. Dobles. Right leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Jump. Stage left. Well, yeah. 2, 3, 4. That's it. 6, 7, 8. 2, 2. Get that bounce going. 5, 6, 7. Right leg away from the screen next to the wall. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Go this right leg. 1, 2. Pick it up. Look at how I'm picking it up. Up and down. 7. One more time. 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jump screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. That's how we do it. That's how we get it done. I like it. All right, now we're going to add one more element to make our choreography. We're going to think about what kinds of great things can the elderly teach us, the older generation. Right? What kinds of things can they add value to our lives? They could teach us a new skill, right? We teach them about technology. I'm taught by my students about technology all the time, right? And it's something that they have to learn, have to understand. Oh, what can they teach you, right? I'm teaching you about a dance. Maybe they could teach you a new skill of like sewing or carpentry that they've done. They could teach you about humor, a different kind of humor that you're not used to. They could teach you about respect and patience and gratitude, right? They can also teach you about history. Right now, I'm also giving that history to you, giving you a story. Maybe you can take this time to ask your family about a story, about maybe some culture. What we're going to focus on is how about an old dance, right? Yes, we're learning Danza de Los Viejitos, but something that's old and new at the same time that has the same name. We used to do this dance called the Running Man in the 80s. We saw it, it's an African dance with origins, and it started getting popularized in the 80s, and we saw it in music videos of MC Hammer and Janet Jackson, and the step would go push back. So we would lift up one leg, push back, and then put the leg down. Then this leg would go back, and this leg would come up, and it's alternating. We know this word, alternating. Down, scoot back, down, scoot back, down, scoot back, down. So we have running that, push, 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 up, down, scoot back, and we pull our arms like this. Now, there's another dance called the Running Man in this video game, Fortnite. I bet you all know how to dance it. You can teach your family how to do Fortnite, so you can teach each other, right? So the dance, right, we have that, and that, and that, and that, and that. That, and that, and that. So we're gonna add these two together in our choreography, okay? So the choreography, we start off walking, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're gonna jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have our happy, and bounce. Jump and igloo, and bounce. And sad, and bounce, oops, jump stage left, pain, and bounce, sad, then we go forward, 2, 3, 4, or fall, and we come back up. And here we're gonna add our zapateado. So we have our molleo, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna do 8, 6, 7, 8. Sencillo, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dobles. 2, slide. Maybe you have your partner. Now we're gonna jump to stage right, or maybe your partner jumps to stage left, and you look, and you look towards each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, grab that sencillo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on guys, here we go. 1, another. Move forward. Cross each other. And jump stage left. Maybe you're facing your partner, maybe you're alone, maybe 2 people are on this side, and 2 people are on the other side. We have molleo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2. Right, we're teaching, we're going side to side. Feel this, side to side. We travel a little bit. Okay, let's face the front. Now let's think about forward and back. So we went side to side patterns, right? The present being together, side to side. Now let's think about forward and back. Let's do our running man. Forward, forward, forward. Actually, we should think about our running man, and we should do it back, 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 back. And maybe the other person's going forward. Okay, but we all go back. Let's try that. Go back, and then we do the other running man forward. Back, 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 back. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. Okay, here we go. Ready? Walk around and paint. 2, 3, 4, circle, 6, 7, 8, jump,
espera del otro, se olvida en el más allá. Todos llegan del lugar que vienen, todos al mismo lugar. En un rinconcito del patio chiquito donde yo te vi jugar.
Let's party. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, clap this here. And let us turn, 6 clap. 3, 4, 5.
Dile que lo quiero, dile que lo adoro y que lo voy a extrañar. Dile que es muy corto, la será del otro, se olvida en el más allá. Donde todos llegan, del lugar que vienen, todos al mismo lugar. En un rinconcito del barrio chiquito, donde yo te vi jugar. Son las memorias que quieren ser momentos. Si la lluvia cósmica nos trae el silencio eterno.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for our third session. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you enjoy making your canes. Make sure that you're all posting your videos, you're working on them, you're adding your zapateado, you're adding the choreography. You know, use your own ideas of the dances, you know, that you want to insert into this choreography. This is yours, you know, this is ours. The more creative you are, the more we learn about this period in our lives, the more we document what's going on in this time in history. Thank you so much for joining us. Peace.
Hi, and welcome to week 3 of Chicano Folklorico. This week we're going to be making the cane, which, as you can see with Rayven's moves, is how you kind of lean over onto this cane. We're not going to make the base itself, we're just going to make the cane topper.
You'll need a branch or driftwood, recycled cardboard, paper, paints, markers, scissors, string, glue, or tape.
I was really inspired by the canes for the dance that I saw in Oaxaca. They have these really elaborate tops that are made out of wood, and it actually is this whole branch that they're leaning on.
I asked folkloric dance and choreographer Gabriel Avila about it, and this isn't traditional to La Danza de los Viejitos. It might have just been adapted by this specific community in Oaxaca. As you can see, they put animal imagery throughout. Sometimes the top of one branch is a snake's head and the tail is painted on to another end. The image of the serpent seems to be common for all of them, and to be honest, I don't really know why. It could be after Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that the symbolism of the snake or rattlesnake is part of traditional Mexican perspective on life and death and the transition between the two. Based off of this idea, we're going to make something similar.
I found a driftwood in my neighborhood, so I'm going to be making mine out of driftwood. I also am going to make a version that's out of cardboard, and that I would just adhere to the top of anything that could be used as a cane. Some examples could be a mop, or I have other like tube-like things that you can add to it. The last thing we're gonna make is a vine to go around our cane, and we're gonna use our prompt in order to build imagery for that.
This week our prompt is asking for guidance o pidiendo orientación. We're focusing on our elders since at this time they're the most vulnerable population. So choose one person who really inspires you. You could know this person or not. And if you know this person, definitely call them and ask them the following questions. If you don't know this person or if they've passed, research more and respond in a way that you think they might respond. At this exact moment, when the person you chose was your age, where were they? What were they doing? What did they think their future might look like? And what did they want to be in the future? Do the same for yourself. At this moment, where are you? What are you doing? What do you imagine in your future? And what would you like to do for your future? Finally, ask for a message of support. Ask this person to support your future goals. You can have someone write down a message, or again, you could always imagine what they might say. The person I chose was my grandfather. He did pass when I was young, but I decided to kind of ask questions from my family members and also imagine what he might have said. I chose a fish that's native to Puerto Rico, the clown triggerfish. Since he fought in the war and lived in a time when basically the United States was in seemingly support of Puerto Rico, I thought my responses weren't that positive. I think he would have been pretty disheartened by everything that's happened. I painted the front of the head on the top of it, and I'm also making the tail on the end. And just glue down your accessory items. I used papers from weeks 1 and 2 for the leaves, and then I made little symbols to respond to each of my questions. Even though we were both at this age by the ocean, we were in different sides of the world, and honestly, things are completely different than they were. I think it's really powerful to have our elders as our symbols on the top of the cane. Every time you emphasize a stomp or lean on them, it'll remind you. So I hope this is a good example that helps you really connect all of the ideas together. Again, if you don't find a branch, I am just going to make a topper for the cane, and I would attach the leaves the same way. There you have it. Keep working until you're really happy with it. And obviously take creative freedom. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this class. And join us next week. We're going to be making the masks.